Hey everybody. So I know some of you are new to the YouTube channel here, and a lot's happened in the past week or so, but I wanted to kind of put out there where all this came from, what I used to do, and what I'm doing now, and why I want to set up this little YouTube channel. And I'm going to go back to 2007 or so, and here we go. So first there was paper, and then there was wire, and I used to make all kinds of stuff out of wire. I'd hang out at the local coffee shop and make wire this, wire that, whatever people wanted. There's my cat. Cat was a huge critic. I draw a little bit too, but mostly just making stuff out of wire. And then you get it in your camera. You go to Arizona. Why not? Take some pictures, hang out, play chess. Took more pictures at home. And then I go to conventions and fix costumes for people when they were broken. And then I adopted a kid, and then another kid, and hang on to that picture for a second. Worked on sheet metal because wire was becoming a little limiting. Got a plasma cutter, started cutting stuff out of plasma, designing things. That was a lot of fun. Build equipment. I love building equipment. More plasma stuff. Fix equipment. Love fixing equipment. Old vices. Little blacksmithing. That Singer's awesome. Made a rib cage that opens. Made signs for people. Did pottery stuff. Fixed up that old post drill. Cast iron welding experience is really handy there. There's a pottery wheel again. Made a forge. It was terrible. It didn't last for very long. Worked on this octopus. Still isn't done. This was a while ago. We're going through a lot of years here. Violin project. Made an octopus hanger. Nessie. She's finished. Did the molecule thing. I was starting to run into the limits of plasma cutting at the time, working on knives, bearings. So between the restoration stuff and whatnot, I'd design things, but I'd put them in Cat Millicent's shop, custom art shop. But you can't pay the bills that way. And so I was starting to hit the limits of what I could do with a hand plasma, or at least I felt that, because you just never make any money at it. And the whole goal eventually is to do this kind of stuff full time because this is what you love, right? So then I got a CNC burn table, right here, Delusional Designs, and I opened up the possibilities of what I could do. This little guitar restoration was a lot of fun. Still have that floating around. I still did a lot of stuff by hand because I'm a machinist. I just still didn't have machines at home, so I'd do stuff with my grinder, pick up junk at the scrapyard, and I was getting really close to building my own lathe. And then I found this South Bend, and the South Bend was kind of a game changer. It came along with a Becker milling machine, and I figured out how to drag them into the house or into the shop. I can weld. Worked on fixing them up, and then that was my first RadCon. I'd wanted to vend at a room at RadCon forever, and so a couple days before I built a booth and I got some stuff in there, and it was a really good time. And then back to the shop, organizing, moving, organizing, getting machine tooling, found that at a yard sale, and I just kept finding machines, designing stuff. Cat. But I was working on developing some skill, like some design, some sheet metal stuff, and just kept cranking away at it until eventually more conventions, more picking up equipment. I still got to fix all this stuff. It's still floating around. I'd love to have it all. That mill came up here from Idaho. That was a cool mill, that Van Norman. But I've been going through all my pictures trying to put together an idea of what it is that I do or want to do with all this. And that's going to be pertinent here in a little bit. Fixing up hammers. I love typewriters, sewing machines. Got a few of those. Had to update the booth a little bit. More working on figuring out sheet metal, like going from the 2D to the 3D. I like doing that. It's been an interesting challenge. Fixed up this old vise. I bounce around a little bit. This knife was super cool. I found it at a yard sale. Working on sheet metal again. There's my old vise. Anvil. I made my first anvil. Put a hardy hole in it. Doing a little blacksmithing, making signs for folks. I like lapidary work. knives. I don't do a lot of knives, but they're fun. When COVID hit, we did some yard projects. Had to make some tools for cutting roots out. And then moved another lathe into the shop. This is a vise I made for work. Found a real anvil at a pawn store. Gears, wire work, just lots of little design stuff. Made some tooling for work. Made a unicorn splitter. So this guy, that first one I made for a friend of mine, and then before one of the RadCons, I think it was the second one, I was playing around with making another one, and I made this one. And that was 4 years ago I did that. And it's just kind of set on, I sold the one, it set on the idea set on the shelf, the design was all approved out, but it's just, I haven't done anything with it. And then I got my shaper, I was real excited about that. Moved her into the shop.
So this works really good.
I had to do a bunch of cast iron welding on that to fix it. The back end where the motor mount was busted off. And then I do little fix-it projects. It's expensive to get stepper pulleys, so I made a stepper pulley, design stuff, just back and forth. I put a concrete floor in the shop, and there's lots of equipment out there I find that I'd love to take home and fix up, but it's time or money. And then this happens. So I put the YouTube channel up to try and build up some kind of following, and I put one video on TikTok, and boom, we've got 37,000 subscribers or followers in a few days, and 6 orders for swords. So what do you do when you run into 6 orders for some project? You build it, and that's what I'm working on right now, is getting all these built. And I'm hoping this can turn into something a little bit bigger, because really what I enjoy doing is fixing up old equipment, sharing that process. Little stress relief, designing things, like that's what I like to do. So this whole YouTube channel and Instagram and all the rest of it, the effort put in there is towards that end, to put a shop together, to save old equipment, to fix it, to share all that, to build neat stuff and get it out there, just to do all the things. And that's why we're here. So that's the end of my little story. There's a lot more to it, of course. That's really fast. But if you all are interested in keeping track of it, then you know what to do. And if not, I hope you enjoyed the show, and have a good day.